Hello, I'm Carmen Lundy, and welcome to Jazz Speaks Art. Hi, and welcome to chat with great percussionist Mayra Casales. I'm Carmen Lundy. I'm here with you today to just hang out for a little while. Mayra's in town here in LA, living in New York City. We know each other from Miami, back in the 70s. And you know, we've recorded my first album. Well, we started out in New York together, really. I got there a few months before you, but we started out, we were at background for Ray Barretto for a while. We did that, and then you got hooked up with Phyllis Hyman, also started her career in Miami. Yeah. And then I got to New York, and 7 years after being in New York, made my first record. You Were On It, Good Morning Kiss, the song we wrote together, the title of the album. Yeah. And you're here in LA just for a couple of days, and came over to the studios here, and we've been in the studios since yesterday, all day. Yeah. So I wanted to take time out and just kind of talk to you a little bit about, you know, I think a lot of people want to know more about what it's like being in the jazz genre, particularly as a percussionist, myself as a singer and a composer. Over these years, I think a lot of people aren't really, you know, up to our speed with really how we get here, how we got here, and how the music, you know, comes together. Why don't you talk a little bit about that part of the process?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's interesting because it's not documented yet, although it can be, but we created it first. So based on your melodies, you know, I came up with a rhythm. From my rhythm, you can create the melody, and like that we make it happen. It's a process of a lot of you know, time working together for us that makes it so easy now. You know, yes. I think we can, you know, come up with these things.
We have our own internal language that we already understand.
Exactly. Yeah. That's big. That's major, because I already know kind of where you're gonna go, or we'll try it. It might not work. We'll try something else. Yesterday you came up with that melody. I started with like a Brazilian kind of thing on the conga, but we ended up fusing it with Latin, and so it came out to be this beautiful creation that wasn't one thing or another. Like you say, we can't really name it. It's just music, and it is based on jazz, and which is that kind of spontaneous thing that we can do, and then structure it, or the opposite way, structure it and then play it, and it always grows. We can start this song now, and by the time we play it 7 or 8 times, it can grow into something amazingly more than what it started out being. Yeah, right. Me too.
I love having that flexibility.
Especially when I play with Carmen. When I play with you, I have the ability of not having to play it the same way every time. Because you may not sing it the same way every time. You may not give it that, you know, that feel there the next time we play the same song, is what I mean. And so I'm going to go with you when you're doing in the moment, so I'm going to grab something else. And I'm going to change it up. And that's so much fun, because you know, I've played, and we've all played, you know, something you have to play the same every time, and that for a musician that's used to playing jazz is kind of like, you know, having your hands tied a little bit, you know. Although I always try to sneak in something different. But playing with you, I don't have to try. It just goes that way. And so we still are playing the structure of the song, and it's going to end sometimes not even the way we thought it would. Yeah. And that's what's beautiful about it. What people are there watching at the moment is what they're getting at the moment. It might not have been recorded that way a million, and you've heard it a million times the same way. And it's fun for us as musicians, and I think for the audience too, because you're taking them with that energy that you're creating in the music at that moment. They're sitting there watching.
Yeah, a lot of jazz is instrumental. A lot of people need to hear a lyric before they can associate anything.
And there's so many different forms of jazz.
Exactly.
There's so many, you know.
And the Latin music has grown into the fold, and it distinguishes itself outside of jazz as well as inside the genre.
Yeah, like Latin jazz. I mean, that's you know, something that Dizzy created with Chano Pozo. It became this amazingly beautiful sound to have this clave rhythm and these conga rhythms within the structure of jazz. It's very exciting, you know. And then Dizzy Gillespie.
Dizzy Gillespie.
Chano Pozo, which is, you know, the beginning of Latin jazz. That was the beginning of Latin jazz.
And
right
he was also
Cuban conga player.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a percussionist where he played all these sounds like maybe I do, but he incorporated that Afro-Cuban beat. You know, I found when I first started, you know, you turned me on to a lot of jazz, and as a Afro-Cuban player in Cuban music, when you do your solo, you just, you know, they'll say, okay, they'll support you with these rhythms and these melodies, and then you'll solo over that, and then when you're done, something, you know, you'll signal something, you're out of that. But in a jazz tune, you have to know the head of the tune. You have to know the form of the tune. So that automatically makes you, you know, you have to know some stuff.
Yeah.
You can't
tune in next time, folks. I mean, we're gonna look forward to seeing you again. There's so much more to talk about. But, you know, and in the meantime, you can actually hear Mayra in so many different contexts. She's recorded with John Lucien. She's recorded with many of my recordings. Anything that's got percussion on it, you're listening to Mayra. She's going to be playing with her group, Coco Mama. Her record is called Mujer Ardiente, Woman on Fire, on Afrasia Records. Her solo, your debut release. And Mayra's also a great producer. I love the way you write, and it's a great band leader. And I gotta say that your first record, you did yourself. I mean, I was out, you know, I was like, oh.
No, but I was influenced. So you were a great influence on that record, believe you me.
And we have a tune on the record called Take the Time. That song, Is It Love? From the first record, the record I called This Is Carmen Lundy. Mayra wrote, that was a collaboration. So yeah, I mean, you can hear a lot of what she does.
And we're gonna actually record that tune with my group Coco Mama as an Afro-Cuban song. We're also gonna redo that again. Is It Love?
Yeah, because I did it as a ballad.
Oh, yeah.
Really slow.
Beautiful.
Ballad.
It's
beautiful. So you can put
Made
those two songs side by side and listen to how arrangements can evolve.
Exactly.
Also in the jazz context. That's a great example. Of
yeah,
that.
and when we finish the Coco Mama CD, and you could probably find that on CocoMamaMusic.com. But trust me, all of it is a great influence from you. As far as what I do now, it's been greatly influenced by you, and I thank you, really.
I thank you more.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is the place to be.
Te quiero, pero necesito saber